Hello. As always, first steps, some tunes. And off we go. So, if you are joining because you have read the title, or you've come from Twitter or LinkedIn or something like that, hello and welcome to the stream. I am going to be doing a little bit of Go, a little bit of Go, and a few GraphQL things. So, with that said, let's just roll into that, right? I mean, why sit here and blabber, you know? Even though I hear the most popular thing on Twitch these days is to chat. Whatever. We're going to actually do something. So, we got some jams going, and we're going to get into it. Here's the mission as I have written out. I'm going to create a sample HTTP server in Go, and we're going to create some sample error message codes with that, or get some sample error codes back, like error 500, server error 401, inaccessible, things like that. We're just going to test it out and see what the options are for using Go to write a web server and interact with it from that perspective, making various get post commands and things like that. I have created 2 repositories, which I will be using for this. There is the Core Era, short for coronavirus. Yeah. Coro Era coding Go sample, which I'll put the HTTP Go code in. And then we're going to do some GraphQL stuff. Where I wrote introspection. It's not really introspection. It's just going to be some GraphQL. It'll be introspection, but also I want to do some mutations. So that's what that is. And this was my little tweet there that went out. So those are the goals. That's what we're going to work toward. First thing of those 3, of course, is creating this Go server. So let's get started on that. Oops, that is not what I wanted to click on. There we go. So let's see here. GitHub. There we go. So repos, and then bounce in here to the Go sample. Now I'm just going to go ahead and clone this down because I went ahead and created the basic repo. The basic repo just has a README, license, and the .gitignore files, which is what GitHub lets you prime the repo with whenever you create a new repo. So that's in there. And then let's get Golang. It's coming up on the wrong screen like it usually does. So we're just going to say new project. Yeah, 113 is fine. And then actually let's do, I should probably, get from version control. Then we'll click on GitHub, and that'll pull up my repos. And then I can just go ahead and pick Coro Go sample. There we go. 9cat gets to working. And there is our repo. Don't care about Node.js right now. Thanks though. There we go. Let's go ahead and create a Go file. There we go. Now I'm not sure exactly what test I'm going to write because I'm not super, I haven't really determined the way that I like to write unit tests for Go. So that might end up being another session, or maybe we'll get some of those done right now. But I do know some of the things we need to do to get some Go bits working. Let's hear no. And ignore what's it got in here. Let's add. We're going to add .ds store and .ide or IDA to that. Get out of here message, thanks. And just for good measure, print line test Okay. Oops, build, go build. Let's do a package, github.com/, what is it, Coro, era, coding, go, sample. Sudo, doesn't need sudo, no. Oh, I can do this, can't I? No? Always something annoying. Ah, there, that worked. even though it didn't like it. All right. So that's there. And then what's it take? Pull this up. Golang web server HTTP. I know it's the HTTP library, and we could probably just pull up some samples. Oh, what's this? It's a new website. I haven't seen this one before. Handle func, process data serving, static assets, accept connections, code. Okay, this is enough to do a thing. So let's just grab this, and then we will examine what I've just grabbed. So we have HTTP, which will pop up. There it goes. Pulls in the dependencies. FMT is for the printf. Net HTTP is for the actual library around HTTP functionality within Go. The HTTP.handleFunc allows you to handle the request and response from HTTP. As you can see here, this is handling the root of the URI path. Then we have, let's see, what is this? Anonymous function that handles a response writer and a response request. And then within that function, we have welcome to my website. That's what it prints out. Okay. And then I guess they're handling some static content, which I'm not even going to worry about that. File server, and then just do this. So let's change this to 8080. We'll just run the okay, so there we go. So then let's pop this back up. Localhost 8080. Welcome to my website. All right, so we have something. And if we just look at this, inspect this, what do we have? We have, so pre is the open and close tags for the body. And then we have a header, which I guess has, yeah, okay, just a style sheet, plain text. That's interesting because, yeah, that's weird. Why? What decided that was going to be my CSS sheet? I don't really know. But anyway, bounce back into the Go code. Let's see here, handle func. All right, so technically, let's see if I can refactor this. Hit move. No, it's going to try to do the whole file. Let's make this a separate thing though. Func handle, or let's call it root handler. All right, and we're going to have the HTTP response writer, and then we're going to have a pointer to the request that's coming in, like this. All right, and then in here, we can perform various things on the writer and request. So in this particular situation, we're going to do format, it's here F, format print, format, we'll do with, let's go with line. Up above was the format. Oh yeah, so we want to do the writer here, and then just this is my content, to be more specific how that one would work. So otherwise the format, the fprint ln would do the same thing as print line, standard print line would do. This of course does it into an IO reader, which the writer is of IO reader type. So then let's see, what else do we got in here? So we're going to put in the writer, and in here I'm going to say r.body, just to see what the request body is. I don't think it's anything, technically speaking, if we're just in a browser doing that. But let's see what else we got. We got header? Yeah, header. Okay, let's see what's in that. This is my content, response writer, da 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 da. Okay, let's see what happens there. Oh wait, whoops, we need to take this out though. And take out the function and then put in root handler. Like this. So note, you can put just the name of the function. You don't need to put much else, because the handler func should handle it, I believe, based on how I've seen Go's HTTP handler working in the past. All right, so that's running. There we go. So that's my content, which is that first bit here, this line. Then the second one is the header, and the second one is the body. So let's look at that. The header is a map of, there's the accept type, text HTML, application XHTML plus XML, application XML, Q9 image, accept encoding, accept language, cache control. Okay, so those are my header values. Then my connection is keep alive, upgrade, insecure request, user agent, blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, that's part of the header too. And then finally, the body, which is empty, coming into the request like that. Now let's say I use Postman to make a request. Let me pull up a thing over here. And we're just gonna do localhost 8080. There we go, that's what we expected. But let's add something to our body. So there's our header. Let's add a new thing. Rando header key, some rando value. And then the description, just to see what we get there. And then in the body, let's add, what should we add here? Let's do raw. Form data, raw, binary, GraphQL. Let's go with raw. This is the contents I am sending in via body. Now I'm leaving it on the GET request. And let's see what that does. Oh, that's interesting. False, true, false, 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 nil, nil. This is my content. So this is the stuff that's in the body. So let's go back over here and actually see about what we can do with that, because that's junky. Let's do read. Can I do that? I wonder if, oh no, that's not it. It's IO read closer. Let's see what get body does. Is get body gonna, is a single value context, multiple value get body, and a single value context. Okay, well let's do, oh, let's do this. Let's do for key value in range of r.get body. I think I could do that. Oops. Let's go with value. Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. Read closer error. The body is, oh, I don't really want to, we can do this then. So string, oh wait, var, the body, string, okay. We're going to make the body equal r.body. And then format.f print line, oops, w the body. Let's try to get body then. io.read closer. What is this? io.read. Dot, oops, dot. It's error in byte interface. No? Okay, let's check this out then. So we're going to do Golang HTTP body. Because it is a request, HTTP request. Yeah, request body. What do we got here? So URL value is this. Defer body dot. Oh, okay, so we need to do that, and then what? Body. Oh, weird. This is. We'll do this. If error is not equal nil, let's do format dot f print. Oh yeah, we'll do that one, or no, line again. W, and then there, whoops, there was an error. Let's do that, and then add this. Then we'll add the error. Go back and change this to function, or format, I mean. Okay. And then also, if this happens, we want to do w status. No. Code. No. Okay, well, what's this give us? Okay, and then go to Postman, and let's add, the body is being printed out, but it is the binary junk. All right. I think I can just do this. Oops. Nope. There we go. So what are they doing? Person create. There's their response writer and response request, and then the you gotta fully do a decode. So wait, our body, decode is P for person thingy. Oh, person struct. Oh, you have to decode what's in the body? Oh, and they're using the mux there, but that's fine. Improved handler. Such a boatload of stuff to deal with one simple little thing. This code is a lot more verbose and, in my opinion, a little bit ugly. Things aren't helped by the fact there are quite a few issues with JSON encoding, which are on hold pending a wider review of the package. But from the security and client perspective, it's a lot better. Right, making a helper function. Decode JSON body. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't know what's in the content. So it's just doing a decode to the struct object here, and that ain't gonna work for me. What about this? What's it do? Var client HTTP client response da da da. Okay, so response body dot close. I did that. Response status code HTTP. Body string. Oh, does that? I think there's enough there. Let's see if that will get me to where I want to be. So we got that in there. So there's the defer.body. And then if dot status. Oh, that's w.status code. Oh, what is, what is the assumption here? Assumption is RASP. Oh, is client.get URL. But that's not gonna happen. Oh, shoot. That's response.body. Maybe this will work for me though. Let's try that out. Read all. Okay, then we're going to go with r.body. And if it's not equal to nil. Hey, Cuskman, how are you? Let's do a format.f print line w. Let's print the error out. Oh, that's how you do the parsing string. Like that. Oh, that looks like it worked. Go over to Postman. Let's check that out. So I'm going to send that in. Ah, there it is. Okay, so that the IO util will work to parse out the body. So, let's see here. Nice. Yeah, I've been doing a ton of refactoring too. I've also been playing a lot more. So hopefully my my intro song and a lot of the interim music in between, it's going to be me soon versus whatever stuff I'm able to use out there. So that should be cool. And hopefully my intro video clip, I've put together this kind of fun coffee swilling intro together, which is kind of spastic. I don't know, it's like a little piece of art, so it should be cool. Hopefully, got my fingers crossed. Oh shit, knocking stuff over. Anyway, okay, fix that. Had to sit up more. So here is a good example of handling the request body. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do another handler. Func root handler. Let's see here. Let's do response handler. Let's see, example. Request. Okay, so format dot. So W, that's going to be our writer. And then let's do W dot write header. Oh, let's write header 200, status code 200, right? Oh, I should probably do this before. Yeah, let's do this. And then, let's say format, blah, blah, blah. Then testing status code. Manually added a 200 status, okay. Another line. Let's see, format F, print. What else we got? We got write, byte. So the format.f print line is writing it into the IO writer of W, which is the response writer for the HTTP response. So then, I wonder what happens if I do a header. Yeah, I don't actually know. Let's just see what this is. So the other thing I need to do here is http.handle func, and then we'll go with response. And go with response example handler. There we go. Let's run that sucker. Then get back out the Postman and just do this. And then let's go with response. Another line. Cool. So, and then in here though, cookies, no. Headers, yep. We have key, content type, blah, blah, blah. Content like 67. Test results. Oh, I wonder where you can see. Hey. Oh, I wonder about that. What was my... Oh, there's my rando header in that, from that I did just a minute ago. But I'm doing response now, not response, response. And when I run that, so it does both lines. Manually added a 200 OK. But where is, oh, that's nice, raw, pretty, raw. There we go. And then test results, no. Headers. Oh, there's the status right there. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so let's change that. Let's do another one. Error response handler. And let's make this a 500, which is a server error. Server error. Okay. Oh, gotta add it. So we'll go up here, and then add http.handle func error example. There we go. So here, error example. 500 internal server error, yes. Okay, that is what we want. Given when no more specific message is suitable. And then body is server error, which what's my message, right? Server error, yeah. Perfect, okay. That's good, so let's get that committed. A simple example of manipulating the status code and also getting the basic elements of an HTTP server running using Go. Cool. Okay, that is done. That was mission number 1 saved there, and I want this up because we're going to use that in just a second. And what else we got? GraphQL here. Add that in a second. Oh, there we go. And then ooh, whoops. All right, next thing. What is the next thing? We want to in the repo, I will add a link to the video whenever I put the video together for whatever we just built here. All right, so that's all running. And then in other parts and elements, oh God, I have so much stuff open. That doesn't need to be open. That doesn't need to be open. Zoom doesn't need to be open. That doesn't need to be open. I'm not playing any video games. And ScreenFlow can close. Okay, so I got this up because I'm going to use Postman and GraphQL to actually test against a GraphQL server that I'm going to get running here now. So we are at, what is it? 36 minutes in. Let me take a look at the notes here. Oh, damn it. Where is... There we go. That's in starting Go 2. All right, so I need Golan. Oh, it must have updated. Every time it updates, it nukes it on the bar down there, which is kind of bothersome. All right, so okay, on the back end here, I got an actual GraphQL server all running, but I'm just going to leave that, and we're going to work with it based on the premise that the GraphQL server is already running, it's just out there, and we're going to write introspection queries and mutations against the GraphQL server. So let me run that on my other screen here. What's going on? It's fussing about something. Okay, so the server's running. So if I come over here to Postman, I have two ways to work with this. This is where I can send in my request once I have my token. And this auth is where I send in to get a token. So I'm going to run this and get my token. And then go in here and verify that my token is working. And then, oh, whoops. I got debug points on my other screen. Let me get rid of those. Okay. So there is our result. And if we go over to the nicer formatted, oh wait, I wonder if it, pretty, raw, preview, nope, visualize, nope, that's not what I wanted. So anyway, yeah, back over here with GraphQL, and I go in and edit these, edit my X0069 token. I added these earlier, so I just have accept, content type, and an X0069 token. That's what you need to be able to access the GraphQL API endpoints for a database that you would create in an Astra database as a service account. And I'll go over that at a later time. I think you probably remember Customin. We've done that a few times. Scipio? Is that right? Welcome to the stream. Hope you follow. Then you'll get the cool mosh pit intro too. Or have you already followed? Is that what the little icon? No, Twitch. You have a Twitch Prime account. That's what that icon means. Cool. Da-da-da. Interesting. Still figuring out all the stuff. So let's hear get. And then, oh, we actually want to do a post. So this is my query against orders. So let's hear, do I get that? Oh yeah, so that shows the column types, etc. in that query. Cannot return null for non-nullable filled column type, da, 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 da. Okay, yeah. But what we want to do is probably get in here. Yeah, sure thing, Scipio. Scipio. I'm trying to add an R. There's not an R there. You don't have an R. Right, exactly. Don't want 500s. We want 200s. And yeah. Just started learning JavaScript, huh? So most, if not all of this, is way over my head, but I'm enjoying watching the process. Oh, cool. Yeah. It's all cryptic craziness. It's just the way all of it is. But it makes sense, sort of, as you get used to seeing it. It's still cryptic looking, though. I mean, how does any of this ever make sense? This is not sort of readable. They say that this is sort of readable stuff. That's an error message, obviously. And these are column types. Anyway, enough of me blabbering. Let's do some next stuff. So with this, one of the cool things about GraphQL too, or GraphQL, this app that I'm using, is if you hit Control Space like I just did, Control Space, boom, it gives you this little autocomplete menu here. So then I can pick query, mutation, subscription, and fragment. And what I'm going to try to kind of piece together, because I'm still not super familiar with writing GraphQL queries and mutations and stuff like that. I'm just getting used to it myself. I'm going to try to write a query and do what they call introspection, some introspection queries against the database to find out what's in the database. And then I'm also going to try to write a mutation to maybe create a table, maybe do something of that sort. We'll see what we can get figured out. So let's start with a query. And then it's always braces. There's braces everywhere in this. So query, let's see here, Control Space again. So there's orders, that's for like the table. But I just want to see schema. I want to see like what's up with the schema. What else is in here? And notice down here when there's this syntax error, expected name found. So it's looking for something, right? So let's do, so we can do query type, mutation type, subscription type, directives, types, blah, blah, blah. And that looks like it wants something too before we can actually run it. So let's open that up and, here we go. So we could probably do name, and then can I do kind? I think is how that works. And then description. That should give us something. So let's run that. There we go, cool. So here's some of our schema / query schema for an enumeration of products order, products result, input object, enum, One possible value for a given enum. Enum values are unique values, not a placeholder for a string or numeric value. However, an enum value is returned in a JSON response as a string. Of course it is, because everything's a string in JSON. Yeah. Just to add to that, one of the things with GraphQL that it helps with in a lot of ways, it can add a lot of complexity. Definitely, absolutely can add complexity. GraphQL has some simple types and concepts to it, but beyond that, it can get super complicated. What it does though is it provides like a middle tier to be able to write to, so that you're not always writing to a specific or unique database, data source, API services, etc. So instead of writing to a bunch of different services and a bunch of different databases, one uses GraphQL and builds out a GraphQL server to connect specifically to those sources and provide web developers a single type of interface and API spec to write to. So in the process of doing that, you have GraphQL that you're writing to instead of writing SQL or CQL or Mongo's whatever query language. You can have all the databases behind there and just write to the GraphQL. In this particular situation, one needs to be able to explore what's in the GraphQL repositories or systems or sources or whatever. So one way to do that is to use the query option in GraphQL to look at the schema and figure out what types you have and what other types of things there are. So for example, like let's say I go down here and types, there's query type, and let's look at those, right? So we got same type of stuff, kind, description, and let's see if I can do fields. No, that's going to ask for another subpart. So let's look in there, and then we'll look at description in there too. And then what else we got? Fields, possible types. Oops. Let's look in there and see what we have for that. So like name, description. All right, let's run that query. So here's the schema part, then query type. Okay, so that's this. And then we got all those in here. We got orders, orders filters, da-da-da-da-da. No description in those. Possible types null. So I'm not sure how that's panning out. So then here's types though. It's going to describe the types to us. And then here's the type. So we have a column kind type, an orders order type. And this has a description, right? For this one, which is this one. So the enum value is of object and it has a description. And then this one, what is this? This is, the actual schema in types. A GraphQL schema defines the capabilities of a GraphQL server. It exposes all available types and directives on the server, as well as an entry point for query, mutation, and subscription operations. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot more stuff in there from that one. And then what else do we have? Query type, mutation type. Let's look at name, and I'm gonna get simple with these too. I wonder if you can. Well, we'll look at that in a second. I'm gonna do it this way first. Then mutation type, subscription type, then directives, and run that puppy. So now if I go up here, we can see the breakouts. So let's actually do this the other way. So I wanted to print out in the order that I want to read it instead of the way it's going. We go and then query type, and I keep hitting that X. And then mutation type. Pretty much. That is a good summary. GraphQL is a way to manipulate and filter the data coming in from an API you are pulling in data from. Being that the API could be practically anything, yes, exactly. One benefit that I like, for example, like let's say the API is a database, right? With a lot of databases, if you have SQL that you've written out for the query to pull data back from the database, and you have that in your web page, someone can do what is called a SQL injection attack, which is a relatively easy attack where they just parse in some of their own SQL into your SQL statement and execute that. Being that there's no SQL that you're passing into this, they can't execute a SQL attack. All they can do is ask for or perform mutations on things that you've given them permission to access or perform mutations on based on your GraphQL server. So like you control a lot more of that. They're not passing back and forth things that can execute, specifically queries in this case, like I was talking about with the SQL queries. You're not passing in a SQL query that executes literally on the database. You're sending a request, a kind of query-like request or a mutation-like request that's asking the database to do this thing if it can do this thing for you, if that makes sense. It should. I think it should. All right, so there we go. We got our first schema query. Let's put that in the notes here. Introspection query. I don't know if I should put that in. Should I call it JavaScript, I guess? Let's sort of format it there. And then do this. There we go. So let's see about a mutation. So I pulled up some documentation somewhere. Yeah, REST is definitely an important thing to look into too. Good call on that one. Oh, I think I know what I did with it. I'll find it here in a second. Recommendation, what? Oh, bugger off. I'm not pinning the tab right now. Bear with me while I find this. Okay, hang in there. Getting there. I'm looking at some repos that I can't pull up on screen at the moment. So, which feels kind of stupid because they're going to be open source in like a freaking week. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. Come back, Firefox. Here we go. There we go. We can look at this. So also to note, with most GraphQL servers, you get what is called a GraphQL playground. As noted there in the documentation, it's usually port 8080. Whether you provide that or provide access to that or not, it's up to you. That's your call. Generally, I wouldn't provide that externally, but you know, depending on things. Oh wait, what's injection of GQL, separating variables from requests and solution? Valid, Kuskman, very valid. It does limit the execution of SQL though. Like your Robert Bobby tables thing goes away. You always have some type of attack problem, right? Some type of attack vector. If you have any type of manipulations of data, there is an attack vector. So good point. So yeah, maybe it doesn't add any help whatsoever. It's just you get kind of aggravated with that stuff because we always end up with some type of attack vector, and if you don't have them handled right, then bad news, right? With SQL, you either use a layer like GraphQL, or you basically take every single thing and parse so that you make sure to break any statements where there's like a semicolon in there, and then they try to inject the second statement behind it or something or whatever. I don't know. It's a very aggravating thing. It'd be nice if, you know, people were all just perfect and do shit like that, but here we are in our imperfect world. So, creating stuff, creating schema. First stab at this. So, we want to create a table. That's what we want to do. So let's try to do a mutation, kind of like this. That's what I'm going to try to do. Oh, and there's this similar CQL statement. So much more in GraphQL. Anyway, I'm going to move that over to the side. And then, man, this is a heavy ass song. Some throaty stuff. Next song. Fiction, by the way, pretty cool band. So let's try to do that. Let's go back to GraphQL here. And then we got mutation. And then let's see, for us, we're going to do, let's do products. Insert a product. Oh, whoops, we do product like that, and then insert products. Oh no, that's an existing table. I want to create a table. I'm going to create a table. Let's do that. Create table. Oh, do I not have that capability? Well, let's insert products, like we were talking about. Yeah. So let's do this. Insert products. And this is going to be super arm. Or maybe we should just do, well, I think that'll be interesting to see if it handles the casing okay. Insert books. And then, okay, we need to do this to get the values in there. Value, is that like, am I missing, do I still need a, oh yeah, I do need that still. And then I need to do value, and then more, and then I think, yeah, so let's see, we need ID, and then name, then description, then price, and created. I don't know how to do the created as a text. I remember it's a text field. So let's go with, let's hear insert product, value. This is going to be, let's hear ID. It's this bit. Let's see if we can do this. The ID is that, which will be 1, 2, 3. It'll be it needs to be a UUID. And then we have name, which will be powerful robot arm spec A1. Let's do that. And then description. Oops. Actually, let's do this. Let's say this, then that. Arm spec A1. And price. What the 99,99999, and then created. Oh, I don't really know what to put here, so we'll do 01 2020 0.00, which I don't know if that's going to be right. Oh, what is this fussing about now? Data type products input is required but not provided. Field insert products argument data. What? So there's no data. What am I missing? I'm not sure what you meant with that one. I need to do what, Customan? On production, you usually just want to leave something like input, and just put all variables into input key in JSON. Like, isn't this the input key? Oh, let's grab a UUID real quick. I wonder if I need quotes around that. Is there product data? So I just do data? No. Super arms. Or maybe I just do that? No. Yeah, I'm not sure what data means in that context. Because here's the documentation for mutation, right? So in here it's going title, and then author. Oh, what is this? Trying to add value title, but there's no author, no map to that, I guess. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So what am I missing here? So there's the name of the thing, right? Of the like object to mutate or create into existence. So there's say unknown argument value on field insert products. Oh, should this be? Ah, okay. Why the? Oh, that actually kind of makes sense. Argument data has invalid value ID, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, let's do, can I do this? No. Arm spec, description, price, found, timestamp. So let's see here. This is going to be tricky. CQL timestamp. So timestamp looks like what? Right, it's not a accurate JSON timestamp, and it's not an accurate one for this either, I bet. Oh, so it's saying do that. Oh, what? Oh, this is the format. Is that what that one is? I think, I don't know, some standard it says where it is. Oh, RFC 822 4-digit time zone. Oh, 8601. Yeah. So that is, yeah, that's what it is. And of course I didn't write it that way. Because why would I write it that way? So let's see, let's do that. Let's do it up that way. So 2020, 04. Oh, or is that day, month, day? What do you think? It's probably month, day. So I'll go with month, and then day, 20, is it 28? And then time, blurb, blurb. What is the time? 436 for me. So 16, 46, whatever, 40. We'll just do 40. And then seconds, so we'll do 30 seconds. Dot. Sure, that looks really cool. We'll do that one. And then get that out of here. Expected type timestamp found that. That is a decimal. Oh, do I need to throw that in maybe? Nope. Yeah, or in this case though, this is so unbelievably frustrating. Most important units, less important. Yeah, timestamp, Unix. So I'm just gonna take that and see if it gets it in there. Or what is JSON timestamp? Oh, that looks like it's gonna be a bunch of mess. Yeah, CQL is a little weird about timestamps. No? He just sent me here for this. That's stupid. Find timestamp. No timestamp. Well, that's useless. Oh, W3C schools. Of course it's useless. I could have sworn. Okay, I think I'm going to cheat here. So in here, to do this, and products, is it, yeah, timestamp. Thinking maybe I just, well, that's hilarious. So there's a link to hide all that stuff. That's great. How can you get JSON to do timestamp function? Can you put a JavaScript function in there to do? Yeah, that's what I just did, right? Or actually, let's pull that. I love that he points out that, yeah, Funroll points out that 8601 is supported by XKCD. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Oh, snap. But what? Created. I don't know. Well, let's see if we got it in there. Oh, it looks like we did. Yeah, ARMSpec A1 in the table with the ID and the description, and there's the price. So 43511. So I guess my formatting was not right after all. What did I do wrong? Oh, I added all that crazy stuff at the end. So whatever this is. And I'm really, like, why would it return all this? Why would GraphQL return an empty data piece in relation to the mutation? That's sort of weird. But let's add another one, right? Or well, let's save this and put that in our notes. Let's get JavaScript because that formats it pretty. There we go. And then, okay, let's go back here. Where is? Oh, that's that. Let's see. Your mutation, and then the next one we wanted to do is let's your orders. Oh, shipping. Actually, let's do shipping. Create. Is there no create? Damn it. Products. Insert orders. Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to get the create tables done right now. But that works. That pretty much covers the bases there. Yeah, exactly, Scipio. So hazy with date formats. But yeah, that's basically what it was. So we're going to come back whenever I get the server working right with the insert or create tables bits. But right now, just working on CRUD based against what's already existing, the tables that are already existing. So let's go and actually do another little thing here I want to test out. And let's see if we can create a table and then have it become available in the server. So I'm going to go in here. Close that down. There we go. So let's go to BetterBots, table, new table, and we'll call this shipping. So it's like we have products that can be orders, and once the orders are shipped, it'll go to the shipping table with additional information, right? Does that make sense? It seems like a fairly reasonable way to structure that. So go with ID, UID, then we'll make this bigger so we can actually see it. And you'll note it's creating the CQL down here. So here, we'll go with name, text, and go to the next one, description, text. Do we want to do name? Actually, let's go back to name. Let's see, what do you call that? Orderee, the orderer. Oh, purchaser. Okay, then description. Let's make that order shipped date. Let's do that, and then date. Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. And I think I have I can't go in there right now. What else should I have in this column, or for columns in this table? Oh yeah, address. On the ship date, let's actually just call this date. Oh, we can't do that. That's the reserved word. So shipped date. I'm going to put the underscore because of databases. Then what else? So address. Let's do country, text. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Tracking number. We'll go with text with that too, because we don't really know what format it might be in. So we're getting a pretty good table here. And then it's your address, country. Get all of it, yeah. Okay, so there's our key with a crazy amount of consolidated stuff. What else? Description, let's add notes. I don't know, that looks good to me. Yeah, so tracking number, notes, country, address, ship, ID. We got the keys in there, indices. See, I wonder if I can do, oh yeah. So can I do this and then, no? I was wondering if I could go in, so here's this. So if I go in and put a cluster column set in here, so like I could do country, whoops, and tracking number for the, whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. For the clustering column. Like that. Let's see how that looks. So let's execute that. Boom. So there's our shipping table. It's in the database. And then what we want to do is go back to our GraphQL. And then, so I don't know how long it'll take before it updates that. Oh, there's table and tables. Oh, I wonder if I can do tables. Maybe tables. No? Okay, getting sidetracked there. Just checking the log here. Oh, brutal. What do we got here? We got logger ignoring table, table name, shipping, error, unsupported type, custom. The heck does that mean? Oh, error type, custom. Well, let's see here. What do I got? A UID, date, modify table. Let's do this. Let's take out this one. It's just all text. And let's take this out for now. Just make it super simple. Go back here. Oh, well, let's get the console up, and we'll hand write this code. There we go. So shipping, SQL scripts, SQL generator, that should give me the create, yeah. Like that, and then I'm gonna do a drop, whoops, drop table, shipping. Oh, and I actually need better bots dot shipping, there we go. In that statement, then create this one. And let's make this simpler. Just to start with, so we're not dealing with anything out of the ordinary here. Primary key. I think that will do it. Okay, so that created. Shipping error, custom ignoring table. There is nothing crazy in there. It's all text. Maybe that's just something else. Let's get in here and see if we can't update it though. So we're just going to do query, query, And we'll do another. Oh, I'm just going to stop it and refresh it. So that'll pop up. We'll see the server pop up here in the background in a second. There we go. Okay. So what do we want? We want to do a query. And then, actually, what is the tables? Name. Oh, then columns. Oh, I see. Really? And then let's do type. Oh, brutal. Panic. Well, I'll be back at that one in a second. So it looks like it's still running though. So it didn't just crash, it just had an error. So let's do this. Then schema. Types, query type. Oh no, is it still something busted? Here's this. Tables name Robert. Yeah, but if it's, well, okay. Also, hello Frackberg, how are you? Oh, what am I doing on that? Tables. Yeah, yeah. I was about to say, sounds like a Robert Tables joke actually, but yeah. Can I do that? No. Why is it crapping out here? Okay, that's normal. Come on, build the server. I have a 30-second timer on there. That's the only reason it's taken that long. It doesn't actually take that long to build the server. Oh, brutal. Okay, so something about shipping. Is shipping just nuking the whole stupid database? Let's delete that. Oh, I wonder if my database actually crashed. Ah! Oh yeah, of course, because the database is gone. So if the database crashes, explosions will happen. Let's do that. Okay, finish this. Docker start this thing. And then we want to get it going. New job, huh? Oh yeah. I've been remote for so long, I wouldn't even know what it was like to go into an office. Talk to companies every once in a while, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna ramp up all these people, and then bring them into the office when we don't know." And I'm like, "Well, if you, so are you really hiring?" Oh, it's a weird era, that is for sure. All right, so it built things there. What the? Okay, I'm perplexed here. 20009. It's funny that they're. It's weird that they hire, but they're not remote friendly. It's almost like I know a bunch of big companies, like even Google, is not actually that remote friendly. Microsoft is not really that remote friendly. So like they're still doing some hiring right now. I mean, they're kind of always doing some hiring, but it's weird because they hire people and they start remote, so they don't do neo training, right? New engineer orientation or new employee orientation, whatever they call it. And it's kind of weird because they're all of a sudden in a few months going to go back to being in the office, right? How's that going to fly? I don't know how well that's going to fly. I mean, you get used to working remote. A lot of people getting used to working remote are going to be like, because some people can be extremely productive remote. Some people can be extremely productive in the office. But usually one or the other, you're the opposite. Like if I go into the office, it's hell, man. All I want to do is drink coffee and wait for people to interrupt me, right? Like that's me in the office. Because that's what happens. I feel like I'm completely unproductive in the office. Even when people have told me in the past, that I do okay in the office, that I'm not an abnormal employee. But I'm like, if I'm not an abnormal employee and I'm as frustrated with how productive I am in an office, and all of a sudden I go remote and I can literally go like 10x. It's ridiculous how much more I can get done. I'm like, well, wait a second. How productive are people in the office if I consider myself so unproductive in the office? Because I get interrupted all the damn time. And there's like all this stuff. It's like, you ever seen The Office? Or wait, are you in England? Where are you at again? I forgot. I was going to say there's the English one too, or the British one, whatever. The British Office, right? With the different comedian guy. And then there was the one here in the US that, like, the first season was a complete duplication of the British one, and then it kind of became more Americanized, and then the British one became more British, etc. Anyway, that's what offices are like. I don't feel like a lot of people admit that, but like offices get that way, right? You got the hello, Wonder Mustard. Welcome to the mosh pit here at Thrashing Code. I've been writing some GraphQL, but now Frackberg got me on a little bit of a rant. Or I guess I got myself on a rant because Frackberg was just saying that he's gotten a new gig. Oh, Midwest. Okay, cool. Where south are you moving? I'm curious. I mean, being a fellow Southerner of origin, born in Virginia, raised in Mississippi, cut my teeth in Louisiana. Frackberg, master of squirrels, love it. So yeah, hot Atlanta, hell yeah. So I gotta say, growing up in the South, I had a particular dislike of Atlanta. And dislike is a nice way to put it. I despised Atlanta when I grew up, when I was growing up down there. And even when I got to a driving age, Atlanta sucked. It was so bad. I got chased by cops there. Let's just say Atlanta was not the friendliest place for me to be. But since I have been back, and it was never Atlanteans, it was usually cops or something. Somebody was causing some issue or whatever. Well, and I've never lived there. I've never lived in Atlanta. Most I've been there is like a couple days. But every time I've been back, like I went back in like 2014, I've been back in like 2012 or something like that. I can't even tell you how many trips just through on the car down the interstate that I've been on. And I've been there via the train. I've ridden on MARTA. I have been to the southeastern part and northwestern part of Atlanta multiple times. I've had great food there. But only in the recent trips has it been where I've looked at Atlanta and thought, this is a nice city. This is a nice area to live here, right here, like the part that I'm at, right? One trip was for Home Depot. They're like HQ or whatever is there. But damn, it's like I went back and what I realized, because I hate driving. Like when the way my views on driving are just, it's not like save the world type of shit or nothing. I mean, not driving can help save the world or whatever, but that's not the reasoning. The reasoning is I feel like when a company basically pays me to drive to work, one, they're cheating themselves and they're cheating me because I have to use my car to go to their office to spend money on gas for my car to burn to go to their office to waste time sitting in traffic. And that sucks. That just seems dumb. So like I don't have a good view of the situation when I'm forced into a scenario where I have to drive to get to an office. Either I want to be on a bus and better use the time constructively against my work time, because I'm going to do work on the bus. I'm going to whip out a laptop. I'm going to do some stuff, or a train. Better yet, a train. Buses are kind of, but that's what I want from a commute. If I have to commute to an office, I want to use the time productively. Just like the same thing with being in the office, I want to use the time productively, and I don't see many scenarios where time gets used productively in an office. There's usually too much futzing around and water cooler conversation, albeit it's fun. And I think part of it is I didn't go to high school. Like I see jobs and I'm like, got to get that shit done, right? But in high school, a lot of people did a lot of stuff, had a lot of fun, had a good memory of high school. I had a good memory of not being at high school. I didn't care one way or another about high school itself. I finished that stuff, took my test, blah, blah, blah. I went to college. But it's like I'm sitting around fiddling with high school-y things. And I'm like, I wanted to be done. So I finished like 2 years early from that. But it seems like the same thing in a lot of corporate environments. I go to the office and things don't get done. Either other people can't get things done because they're busy doing social stuff at the office, or they're sitting and loitering or whatever. And it's great if I feel like having social interaction. But a lot of the time when I want to get a job done, I don't want social interaction. I want to get the job done. So it's a whole different thing. I've learned to deal with it, but it's my rant and lack of rave about being in the office. I only want to be in the office when I want to be in the office to socialize or interact or have meetings. That's it. Any other time, I want a GTFO. Just get the fuck out of the office. But it works well for me right now because I work at DataStax and we don't go into the office. We have an office, like a reasonable one in Silicon Valley area in Santa Clara, but 90% of the employees are all over the world. We work across time zones, etc. We jump on calls when we need to meet. That's that. Every once in a while we have like an on-site get-together, when there's not a virus. And we have a good time. We socialize, get to know each other, get some work done too, dive into some coding problems. But for the most part, like we're not sitting in an office trying to figure that stuff out. A 7.5-hour high school day can actually be accomplished in about 2 hours due to Rona shutdowns. Yes. So speaking of that, I was also homeschooled. That's why I didn't go to high school. It wasn't like I pseudo dropped out of school. One could say I dropped out of school, but I didn't drop out of school. I was just homeschooled. I found out very quickly that I was capable of getting through all the material for a day in a little bitty bit of time, right? So, that's vulgar in Italy. Sorry if anybody's watching from Italy. That was super vulgar. But yeah. I just ripped through that shit. Knock it out. Then I'd get out again. That's one reason I have this puppy right here. I learned how to play guitar, shred, etc. Because I was like, I'm done with high school stuff in 2 hours, and I'd go jam with a band, or I'd just shred by myself, whatever, It was great. But yeah, anyway, the hierarchy of life and the pedantic patriarchal nature of most of our society. Yeah, exactly. Video game. That's another thing. I would honestly, like if I had a kid, I'd have him playing video games instead of half the school stuff, because half the school stuff's just rote memory trash. And like I look back and I realize that first through sixth grade, I went to public schools, And I even repeated third grade because they didn't teach multiplication in third grade, but then like my mom made me go to it. I don't know. It's very confusing. And you know, when you're in third grade, you don't know what the hell's going on. But I did all that stuff, and I look back and I'm like, in third grade, I knew that I could have been in fifth grade or something. I could have been through all that stuff. Like, what do you do by the time you're out of like sixth or seventh grade? You're like division, multiplication, some trig. I don't know. It's like I could have had more maths done and all sorts of stuff by third or fourth grade. It's ridiculous. It was just wasting my time. And by proxy also, because I was like the little rocker kid, I kept getting into trouble. Because like somebody pick on somebody, I get in a fight. You know, I hate it when people pick on me. So, and amazingly, I was big enough that I could defend myself. But out in the South, it seems like people, especially little boys, are encouraged to stand up for themselves. So, busted lips, busted noses, stupid crap. But yeah, anyway, man, you got me ranting there. Okay, let's hear. So something's up with the back end that I wasn't even wanting to fiddle with really, and it's broken my queries and such. But I'll get back to that in a minute. There was another thing. I'm going to dive out of the GraphQL stuff. So question. Yeah, what kind of video games are popular right now? I don't even remember. I still just play such boring video games. Like transportation video games. Oh, I don't know what I broke. I don't know why that's broke. That's really tripping me out. So we got a mutation query. We got an introspection query. Those are going to go in the coding repo. Which, oh yeah, let me get that up here. Actually, you know, I don't need to use that one. I can use this one, this, where is it? Wait, how do you, oh, there it is. I guess I didn't hit the combo key right. Doom Eternal. Oh yeah, I've been seeing some pictures of that. That does look badass. And Resident Evil 3? I thought they were on like Resident Evil 19 or something. Hasn't that game been around for like 20 years? Like the original Resident Evil? I swear I was getting drunk playing that like 20 years ago. Rocking out, playing Resident Evil, getting freaked out, and then like going target shooting. This stupid stuff you do in Mississippi. But yeah, Fragberg, you'd be in Atlanta. You'd go, you know, you get into all those habits again. Play some Resident Evil 3 and then go target shooting, right? Seems like a good thing, you know, where you're twitching after getting freaked out. That was a great game, though. I remember the original one was just scary as hell. Make you jump like crazy. Anyway, enough of me blabbering. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I'm trying to put this in a code repo. So, list codes. Came out in 96. Yeah, so it's like 20 freaking years old. Wait, shit, 24 years old. Math was hard. God damn, 24 years. That's nuts, man. That's super nuts. And they're only on the third one? What happened? Yeah, that game has been able to legally drink. It's drunk already. Oh shit. All right, so oh yeah, I need to clone it probably. Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, there's that sample, and then all this stuff. Okay. Then, whoops. All right, SAMP GraphQL, yeah, and then get this in there. There we go. Okay. So what happens? Does it open another? Of course, it opens another freaking thing. So let's do GraphQL dot. Should I store it as JSON? How do you store GraphQL queries? Oh, it's a remake? That's interesting. Maybe I should save it as, oh, let's save it as JS. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to do. I was going to actually write some out in query format. Yeah, like how do you, can I do this? Mutation query equals. It doesn't like that. Maybe I should do, oh, get back here. Or are you supposed to use single or double quotes for this? I mean, it shouldn't make any difference, right? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to leave that like that. And then we got the introspection query. Oh wait, that's not supposed to be there. There we go. Cheers, Frackberg. Have a good one. Enjoy family time. About to go do the same. Gotta eat some food. Gotta eat some sandwich or something. I need to get into some food. It's with the RE games now with 30% more jump scares. 30% more jump scares. I love that there's a name for it now. All right, so that's in there. Wait, how do you? Well, whatever. Adding a mutation and introspection query. There we go. And I'm going to add some others to that later. But right now, that's that. And for that point, who should we raid, people? Let's do Twitch. Who's hacking away? Oh, people talking about God only knows what. Chainbrain. Kalachi. Oh, the Alt F4 stream. That's usually good coding. Chris is hacking on something. Jitspo. Callow Creation. Echo Hack is playing Diablo. Not trying to stick to gaming hacks. Who is this? Is it a famous person? Anyway, who should we raid? Who should we raid? That is the question. Anybody got an idea? Any suggestions? No suggestions? Open source cloud and Go. Oh, perfect. Yeah, we're totally raiding the Alt F4 stream. Let's do, how do I do this again? Raid the Alt F4 stream. All right, in just a few seconds, please join me for a raid on the Alt F4 stream. In the meantime, everybody have a freaking awesome day. Keep thrashing, and hopefully your code builds. Cheerio.